Hi, my name is Jordan, it's lower down.
Kia ora, I'm Kia.
And welcome to Level 1 Visual Text.
If you haven't already checked out our strategy videos for the written text, we recommend you do that, as a lot of our stylistic and structural exam tips on how to write an essay are the same across both standards. In this video, we'll be going more into depth about how to analyze a visual text or a film.
Yeah, so visual text is fundamentally about taking an idea from a visual text and then linking evidence together to support it. But it's really important that what your text is about is not the plot. It's the deeper ideas you can extract from it using aspects of visual text.
These aspects could include the director's purpose, intended audience, the characters, the setting, the narrative structure, or language features of your text.
Language features of visual text cover the same writing techniques as in written text, like metaphors and symbolism, but also camera-specific features like cinematography or mise-en-scène. You need to include the camera-specific ones in order to get excellence in visual text. And why is it called language features? I don't know. Something to do with like how a film is a language, but I don't get it either.
On top of mise-en-scène and cinematography, other language features could include the editing, the design, the sound, and the performance of the actors.
In order to get excellence, you need to show that your understanding of all of this is perceptive. So let's get into how to do that. So just like in written text, level 1 visual text questions split into two parts: the describe and the explain. And the explain needs to link in with our perceptive idea, or our idea about society, the human condition, wider literature. We also need to show appreciation for all of this and link it with our thesis. If you want more on how to do that, please check out our written text one.
To explain how and why our understanding is excellent, we need to bring in the aspects and link them with the director's purpose. To do this, we need to explain our aspects, including the film techniques, and how they impacted our audience. And we bring this with why the director wanted it to impact our audience. For example, in the movie Schindler's List, the juxtaposition between the girl's red coat compared with the rest of the black and white in the film showed us that Spielberg wanted to create hope for the future generations by having that red standout color.
So this is very closely linked in with appreciation of the text, and saying that the aspect, which is the color, had a really strong effect on the audience. And this is shown in the director's purpose, which is starting to bring in the director-audience relationship. And so appreciation means showing the market that we understand the importance of the text's ideas and the director's purpose, and it is conveyed in the relationship between the director and the audience. Remember, everything in a film is deliberate. So if you think the author intended something, even if it's as small as like the color of a vase, and then that aspect made you feel some sort of way, then you should be putting that in, because you are probably right.
Now let's talk about the main difference between written and visual text. In a visual text, we have visual language features, otherwise known as film techniques. We can split aspects of visual text into two parts. The first is ideas and purpose, the next is visual text language features.
Ideas and purposes include all the stuff we talked about before, like intended audiences, author's purpose, theme, setting, characters. However, it's really important to know that because you're studying film, you need to be analyzing the film's specific language features. These include the things we listed in the introduction, so let's take a closer look at what they actually are.
Cinematography includes things like zooms, camera angles, color, and a whole lot more. Cinematography is pretty much everything that a camera does. For example, in a horror movie, they tend to use things like quick cuts or shaky cameras, and this builds adrenaline in us as the audience. If they use that in a movie like Shrek, it'd be weird.
Mise-en-scène is pretty much everything that's visible in a shot. It's a fancy French name for how and why the director put everything the way it is. So does the vase in American Beauty convey a false sense of homeliness? Who knows, but just write about it. It's very closely linked in with design, which is the world of the text.
Sound is a huge one. This could include things like ambience. For example, a favorite for creepy scenes is footsteps in a big empty space, or phones ringing in a stressful office environment that a character doesn't want to be in. It can also include things like sound effects or music. We all know that horror movies would be about 82% less scary without the music that is in them.
It is crucial that we don't just chuck in a random camera angle and just hope that the marker froths it. If you say that, this is shown in the mid-shot, you need to explain how and why the director used the mid-shot for that particular purpose, which should be to help the director-audience relationship in some way. So does it allow us to, see the emotion, two people at once, something like that. Last thing is that, upside down triangle structure and texts are still the ideal ways of writing the essay. If you want more on that, check out the written text one.
The most important thing to remember in visual text is to show the marker that you have an understanding of the aspects of the text at a deeper, more perceptive level.
This means bringing perceptive ideas related to society, the human condition, or wider literature, and proving them using how and why. It's so important that you show that, or if you break down the question and create a thesis around it and prove it throughout the whole essay.
For visual text especially, you've got to bring in film techniques and always link it back to the director's purpose. This is important so that you can explain that there's a director-audience relationship going on.
And the best way of practicing, read exemplars and do past exams. And also check out the StudyTime Level 1 English walkthrough guide available now that will cover everything you need to know to get excellence in Level 1 English. It's also got 1-day shipping. Who wrote it, Kia?
Me?
Yeah, I wrote it.
Yeah,
I wrote it.
Me.
That's good.